They say hindsight's 2020, so in order to look ahead to 2021, I'm here to round up what we learned from the rolling dumpster fire that was last year. Let's take one last glance at it, put the past behind us, and forge clearly ahead, which is what we're going to do on this episode of PlayUSA to Z. I'm Jessica Wellman, and I am back, baby. But before we dive into the new year, some old business to take care of. How about we all resolve to like, subscribe, and ring the bell on the PlayUSA YouTube channel in 2021? That way, you know when I have some news headlines for you, and you'll also know when our resident slots devotee, Kim Yule, is live streaming her action. Now, if y'all are like me, you're eager to put the previous year behind you, but in order for us to truly appreciate how much better we expect 2021 to be, you have to put it in context and look back at 2020. That's especially true when it comes to gambling. So, indulge me one more trip down memory lane in order to understand what's on the horizon in the future. As we all know, December came and went with no online sports betting bill in New York, but that means New York is at the top of our list for 5 states to watch in 2021. We go into the year with roughly half the states offering some form of sports betting, but the most populous states actually remain on the outside looking in. Here's what 2020 taught us that will hopefully result in more states legalizing sports betting in 2021. When an unforeseen global pandemic decimates your state casino industry, sports betting can help stem the tide. Moreover, when your state is dealing with a massive virus-related budget shortage, legalizing sports betting's pretty easy way to pad the coffers, right? With that in mind, New York lawmakers are still optimistic the eventual revenue bill will include expansion from retail sports betting, which actually is available in New York, to online sports betting in the Empire State. New York may be the big apple of our eye when it comes to 2021 prospects, but other states merit mention too. Missouri lawmakers actually already pre-filed sports betting legislation for consideration in the 2021 session. Not just one bill either, there are 3, creating a veritable smorgasbord of possibilities for the state. Missouri has reason to act fast too. 4 of the 7 states bordering Missouri currently offer legal sports betting, and neighboring Iowa actually just removed in-person registration for good. Oh, no, buddy, he got rid of no more. Yeah, there, better. Got it? Thanks. Our third state on the list took its sweet time to make up its mind about sports betting. Massachusetts long ago commissioned a study on sports betting and has floated some other exploratory legislation. But 2021 is the year it might actually act. Given Boston is the home base of DraftKings, expect a big lobbying push from them. Moreover, Connecticut actually already steals Massachusetts residents in a way with tribal casinos, Foxwoods, and Mohegan Sun drawing customers. It sounds like the tribes will soon be stealing them with legal sports betting. So Massachusetts has motivation to legalize quickly in order to beat the neighboring Connecticut to the punch. Heading down south for our 4th state on this list. Now, last year, the group leading the charge to bring sports betting to Georgia was the sports leagues with all these Atlanta franchises. This is just 2 years removed, by the way, from the head of the leagues arguing against sports betting as something that would fundamentally undermine the integrity of the game. Now, 3 years removed from that battle, expect the Falcons, the Hawks, and others to back lawmakers' attempt to actually pass Georgia sports betting in 2021. And last but not least, since of course everything is bigger there, Texas. Honestly, it boggles my mind that a state like Texas is even being talked about in this conversation. After all, Texas has no casinos, and it's actually one of the more conservative states when it comes to gambling. But when you have Mavs owner Mark Cuban advocating for sports betting in the state with Jerry Jones, it's worth taking that somewhat seriously. There's no actual bill just yet, but given the sheer size and population of the state, I think Texas merits being included in our top 5. Let's review. I can't say for certain that any of these states pass sports betting this year. What I can tell you is that the following 5 states stand a chance of passing a sports betting bill: New York, Missouri, Massachusetts, Georgia, and Texas. Will other states potentially pass sports betting too? It's entirely possible, and the best way to keep tabs on all the states' progress is to just keep checking in here with me at PlayUSA to Z. Okay, moving on. We don't have final numbers on sports betting handle for 2020, but with a month left to report, Americans legally bet over $16 billion last year, not including December. In New Jersey, some months came very close to generating $1 billion in handle, which is a number the Garden State will almost certainly hit in 2021. One state whose meteoric rise last year opens the door for some massive numbers in 2021 as well is Illinois. The state's behind most other states on reporting. Don't ask me why, but their newest numbers are from October, which was the state's third full month of operation. Those numbers were pretty crazy, too, over 430 million in handle. In November, Pennsylvania, which is typically third in handle behind New Jersey and Nevada, produced around 492 million in bets. It isn't out of the realm of possibility that Illinois leapfrogs Pennsylvania in November, December of last year, but it seems pretty clear that the two will be competing for that third spot throughout 2021. If Illinois handle continues to grow at such a rapid pace, I actually like the land of Lincoln to pass up the more mature Pennsylvania market for good before this new year is done. As for overall handle, in 2021, something like 25 billion or even north of that is entirely possible. Remember, for a couple months in 2020, about the only stuff to bet on was Korean baseball and Russian table tennis. There was no March Madness. The baseball season was abbreviated, and college football tended to have as many canceled games as active ones. Add in the fact that new states, most notably Virginia and Michigan, will be launching in a matter of weeks, and honestly, even 30 billion seems, well, doable. Now, it may have sounded like I was bagging on Pennsylvania a minute ago, but that is not the full picture. Both PA and New Jersey are raking in dough hand over fist, not just with sports betting, but with online casinos. Let's put it this way. The best month in Pennsylvania sports betting history for revenue produced $37 million. The online casino industry, on the other hand, reports revenue north of $50 million every month. And those numbers are small potatoes compared to New Jersey. In November, New Jersey produced almost $92 million in online casino and poker revenue. By comparison, Atlantic City land-based casinos produced almost $147 million in revenue during the same time period. Is 2021 the year where online casino revenue surpasses land-based casinos in New Jersey? This one's a tougher sell because occupancy restrictions on brick and mortar casinos related to COVID-19 explain the low brick and mortar numbers. Eventually, capacities will increase and presumably casino revenue will go back up with it. But unlike other states whose budgets were decimated by casino closures and restrictions, Pennsylvania and New Jersey managed to keep afloat thanks to gambling expansion beyond just online sports betting. With that in mind, I'm going to bring another, albeit briefer, list your way. States that might consider online casino in 2021. While neighboring Michigan prepares to launch online casinos in the first half of this year, a trio of Midwestern states are contemplating how to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. The state most serious about expanding to include online casino is Indiana. The state's sports betting expansion has been a major success with record month after record month, so it makes sense that lawmakers would go back to the gambling expansion well. Additionally, Indiana regulators consistently point to New Jersey as the state they model things after, and as I just mentioned, it's a state with the most booming online casino industry in the country. It isn't the only gaming measure getting attention in Indianapolis either. The state legislature might be considering video gambling terminals, also known as VGTs, as well. Indiana businesses are pushing for VGTs because they no doubt see how much business they bring in for neighboring Illinois, which is the second state that may consider online casinos in 2021. Now, every year it feels like Illinois considers lots of gambling options, but nothing quite gets done. However, as I mentioned above, sports betting is a huge success that online casinos probably merit at least a conversation with legislatures, especially if Indiana pulls the trigger first. That leaves us with state number 3, Ohio. Now, I didn't mention the Buckeye State in my 2021 sports betting rundown, and that's partly because some of the key advocates for sports betting reached term limits last year, and they're now out of office. There's hope others in Ohio will take up the charge, though. And with that hope is the possibility that It becomes a big gambling expansion package that does sports betting, online casino, and online poker. I'm going to be real with you though. January is a great time to have high hopes about gambling expansion in the US, but getting a bill across the finish line is not as simple as Schoolhouse Rock makes it sound. In every state, there are competing interests over who will be given access to sports betting, which explains why California seems doomed to never get it done. In states like Texas, there's a strong contingent of people who believe any kind of gambling is a net negative on the state. Does that mean we should just give up hope? No, but let's be cautiously optimistic. Yeah, 2021 should be better than 2020 in many ways, but you know what they say about people who assume. In the meantime, you don't have to sit idly by. Now is the time. Reach out to your local lawmakers. Tell them you want sports betting, you want online casino, and you want online poker, and tell them now, because those voices can really make a difference. All right, I'm going to leave you to compose those emails and tweets to lawmakers, but I'll be back to check on your progress next time on PlayUSA. Tizzy.